Okay, so are you trying to figure out, like, if Synogut is the answer to your digestive problems?
Yeah.
You know, we've all been there. You're
Hmm.
feeling bloated and sluggish,
Uh-huh.
and like your system is just off.
Right.
It can really drag you down.
You can.
And when you hear about a supplement that promises to address all of that naturally,
Hmm.
it's tempting to jump right in.
Yeah, it's completely understandable to want relief,
Right.
especially when it comes to something as essential as your gut health.
Absolutely.
But like with any supplement, it's crucial to understand what you're taking and what the science says.
Exactly. We don't want to just get swept away by clever marketing.
Right.
Um, so let's start by unpacking what Synogut claims to offer and who's behind this intriguing formula.
Yeah, Synogut's approach is interesting because it combines some familiar ingredients with a few that might raise eyebrows.
Okay.
It's not just another fiber supplement, it's aiming for a more comprehensive solution.
I'm intrigued they mentioned this guy named Samuel Bart as the creator,
Mm.
describing him as a plant enthusiast who spent years researching natural digestive solutions.
Right.
It kind of makes you picture him wandering through fields identifying herbs.
There's definitely that element of tapping into traditional wisdom
Yeah.
and kind of a back to nature approach.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that traditional use doesn't always equal scientific validation.
Right.
We need to look beyond the marketing narrative and delve into the actual ingredients in research.
Absolutely. So let's roll up our sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty of Synogut's ingredient list.
Okay.
They seem to be making it a key selling point,
Right.
emphasizing natural sourcing and a blend designed to address various aspects of digestion.
Right, and that's where it gets really interesting. They've combined ingredients like psyllium, known for its fiber content, with things like bentonite clay, which is less common in digestive health supplements.
Okay.
It's this unique mix that sets Synogut apart and makes it worth closer examination.
Okay, psyllium, that's a familiar one. I know it's in those fiber supplements that help keep things well moving.
Mhm.
What about bentonite clay? What role does that play in gut health?
Bentonite clay is fascinating because it acts as a binder, attaching itself to toxins
Okay.
and potentially helping to remove them from the body. It's been used traditionally for detoxification,
Interesting.
but the research on its effectiveness specifically for gut health is still somewhat limited.
So there's not a lot of scientific evidence to support those claims just yet.
Exactly.
So it's sort of like an internal vacuum cleaner sucking up all the bad stuff?
That's a good analogy.
Okay.
But it's important to note that more research is needed to understand how well bentonite clay works in the context of digestion and whether it offers significant benefits compared to other detoxification methods.
Got it. So a bit of a question mark there for now.
Yeah.
They also mentioned black walnut hull as an ingredient. That one sounds a bit intense.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that?
Black walnut hull is interesting because it contains a compound called juglone, which has antimicrobial properties.
Oh.
Some proponents believe it can help combat harmful bacteria and parasites in the gut.
So it's like a natural defender fighting off the bad guys in your gut.
You could think of it that way.
Okay.
But it's important to remember that research on black walnut hull's effectiveness for gut health is still in its early stages.
Got it.
Plus, juglone can be toxic in high doses.
Oh, wow.
So using black walnut hull supplements requires caution.
That makes sense, it seems like, with some of these ingredients, we're venturing into less charted territory.
Mm-hmm.
What about the more familiar names on the list, like oat, flaxseed prune, and aloe vera?
Right.
Those seem like pretty standard fare for digestive health.
They are, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Oat and flaxseed are excellent sources of fiber, which is essential for regularity and overall gut health. Prune, as many people know, has natural laxative effects,
Yeah.
while aloe vera is known for its soothing properties that can help calm inflammation in the digestive tract.
So these are like the tried and true members of the team providing a solid foundation for digestive support.
Exactly. They offer a combination of benefits that work synergistically to promote a healthy gut environment.
All right, we've covered a good chunk of the ingredient list. What else stands out to you as we try to piece together Synogut's overall approach?
Two more ingredients deserve attention: L. acidophilus and apple pectin.
Okay.
L. acidophilus is a probiotic,
Mm-hmm.
meaning it's a type of beneficial bacteria that resides in your gut.
Probiotics are so popular these days.
They are.
You see them in everything from yogurt to kombucha.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they considered so important for gut health?
Probiotics play a vital role in maintaining a healthy balance of bacteria in your gut.
Okay.
They help with digestion, nutrient absorption, and even support your immune system.
Wow.
Supplementing with probiotics like L. acidophilus can be beneficial, especially if you've taken antibiotics, which can disrupt the gut's natural bacterial balance.
And what about apple pectin? I usually associate pectin with jams and jellies. How does it factor into a digestive health supplement?
Apple pectin is a soluble fiber that acts as a prebiotic.
Okay.
Essentially, it provides nourishment for the good bacteria in your gut, helping them flourish.
So it's like giving your gut bacteria a hearty meal so they can thrive and do their jobs effectively.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
Prebiotics are crucial because they create the right environment for those beneficial bacteria to grow and multiply.
Okay, so we've walked through the entire ingredient list, and it's quite a diverse group, each with its own potential benefits. But what's really piquing my curiosity is how they all work together.
Right.
Is it simply a collection of potentially beneficial ingredients,
Hmm.
or is there a deeper strategy at play?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Synogut claims that they've carefully formulated this blend to create a synergistic effect,
Okay.
where the ingredients work together to produce a greater impact than they would individually.
Interesting.
But to assess whether this synergy exists, we need to look beyond the marketing claims and dive into the scientific research.
So while the individual ingredients might have some promising qualities, the real test is whether the whole is truly greater than the sum of its parts.
Precisely.
Okay, you've definitely got me hooked. Let's delve into the research and see what the science reveals about Synogut's effectiveness.
All right, let's do it. All right, let's dive into the research and see what the science says about Synogut's effectiveness.
I'm ready to separate fact from fiction. Let's start with psyllium. It's a popular ingredient in many digestive health products.
Right.
What does the research say about its benefits?
Psyllium has been extensively studied, and there's strong evidence to support its effectiveness for promoting regularity and relieving constipation as a soluble fiber.
Right.
It absorbs water in the gut, forming a gel-like substance that adds bulk to the stool and makes it easier to pass.
So it's kind of like adding lubrication to the system, making everything flow more smoothly.
That's a good way to think about it.
Okay.
Studies have shown that psyllium can be particularly helpful for people with chronic constipation and irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS. It's generally well tolerated, but it's important to start with a low dose and increase gradually to avoid bloating and gas.
That makes sense. Now, what about bentonite clay? I'm curious about the research backing up its detoxification claims.
This is where things get a bit more nuanced. While bentonite clay has been used for centuries as a detoxifying agent, the research specifically on its benefits for gut health is still emerging.
So there's not a lot of scientific evidence to support those claims just yet.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some preliminary studies suggest that bentonite clay can bind to certain toxins and heavy metals in the digestive tract,
Okay.
potentially aiding in their removal. However, more research is needed to understand the extent of its detoxifying capabilities and whether it offers a significant advantage over other methods.
Okay, so the jury's still out on that one. What about black walnut hull?
Right.
We talked about its antimicrobial properties, but is there research to back that up?
There's some intriguing research on black walnut hull, but it's important to note that most of it has been conducted in vitro or on animals.
So it's not clear how those findings translate to humans.
Exactly. Some studies have shown that juglone, the active compound in black walnut hull, can inhibit the growth of certain bacteria and parasites in laboratory settings. However, more research is needed to determine its effectiveness and safety in humans.
Got it. It seems like there's a common theme here, promising potential, but limited human studies. What about the combination of these ingredients?
Right.
Does Synogut's specific blend have any research backing it up?
That's the key question. While individual ingredients like psyllium, oat bran, and flaxseed have proven benefits, there's currently no scientific evidence to support the effectiveness of Synogut's particular blend.
So we're relying on the company's claims that these ingredients work synergistically.
Yes, and that's something to be aware of. While it's possible that the combination of ingredients could create a unique effect without clinical trials or independent research, it's difficult to say for sure.
It's like taking a leap of faith, hoping that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. What about the probiotics and prebiotics in Synogut? There's a lot of buzz around those these days.
You're right. Probiotics and prebiotics are hot topics in gut health. And for good reason, the research in this area is rapidly expanding, and we're learning more and more about the crucial role they play in maintaining a healthy gut microbiome.
Can you give us a quick refresher on the difference between probiotics and prebiotics? I know they're both good for you, but I always get them mixed up.
Absolutely. Probiotics are live beneficial bacteria that reside in your gut.
Okay.
They help with digestion, nutrient absorption, and immune function. Prebiotics, on the other hand, are types of fiber that act as food for those beneficial bacteria, helping them thrive and multiply.
So prebiotics are like fertilizer for your gut garden, helping those good bacteria flourish.
That's a perfect analogy.
Okay.
Synogut includes L. acidophilus, a well-studied probiotic strain that has been shown to have several benefits for gut health.
Hmm?
It can help with issues like diarrhea, lactose intolerance, and even boost the immune system.
That's good to know. And they also include apple pectin as a prebiotic. What's the research on apple pectin?
Apple pectin is a soluble fiber that's been shown to have prebiotic effects,
Okay.
meaning it promotes the growth of beneficial bacteria in the gut. Some research suggests it may also have positive effects on cholesterol levels and blood sugar control.
Okay, so it's like a multitasker supporting both gut health and overall well-being.
Exactly. However, it's important to remember that research on the specific combination of probiotics and prebiotics in Synogut is lacking.
Okay.
We need more studies to understand how they interact with each other and whether they provide a synergistic benefit.
So while the individual ingredients might have some science-backed benefits, the jury's still out on Synogut's unique formula.
That's the key takeaway. There's a lot to be intrigued by, but it's crucial to approach these claims with a healthy dose of skepticism.
I appreciate you keeping it real with us. It's so easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new product, especially when it comes to something as important as our health.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to do your due diligence. Look at the research and consult with your healthcare provider before making any decisions.
Will said, now, beyond the ingredients and the science, I'm curious about the man behind Synogut, Samuel Bart.
Right.
They describe him as a plant enthusiast and researcher. Have you been able to find any information about his background or credentials?
That's an important question. Unfortunately, information about Samuel Bart is limited.
Okay.
He's not a well-known figure in the scientific or medical community, and there's no readily available information about his background, education, or research experience.
So it's a bit of a mystery man situation.
It seems that way, and that lack of transparency can raise some red flags.
Yeah.
It's always a good idea to be cautious when a product's claims are heavily reliant on the expertise of an individual whose credentials are difficult to verify.
That's a great point. Transparency is crucial, especially when it comes to something we're putting into our bodies. So we've got intriguing ingredients, some promising research on individual components, but limited evidence to support the specific formula and a bit of a question mark surrounding the creator. What else should we consider as we try to get a clearer picture of Synogut?
I think it's important to look at the bigger picture of gut health and understand how Synogut fits into that context.
You mean considering it as part of a holistic approach rather than a magic bullet solution?
Exactly. While Synogut might offer some potential benefits, it's crucial to remember that gut health is complex and multifaceted.
Right. No supplement can replace a healthy diet, regular exercise, stress management, and all those other lifestyle factors that play a role.
Exactly. And that's something we need to keep in mind as we evaluate Synogut and any other supplement that promises to improve our gut health.
Well said. So we've covered the ingredients, the science, the man behind the formula, and the importance of a holistic approach to gut health. What other pieces of the puzzle do we need to put together before we can draw any conclusions about Synogut? So we've talked about the ingredients, the science, Samuel Bart and his background, and the importance of a holistic approach to gut health.
Right.
But before we wrap up, we need to talk about the practicalities, cost, potential side effects, and how Synogut compares to other options on the market.
You're right. Let's start with potential side effects. Okay. Even though Synogut is marketed as a natural supplement, it's important to remember that natural doesn't always equal safe or side effect free.
So what are some things people should watch out for?
Well, some of the ingredients like psyllium and black walnut hull can interact with certain medications. For instance, psyllium can affect the absorption of some drugs, so it's crucial to talk to your doctor if you're on any medications before starting Synogut.
Okay, good advice. And with all those plant-based ingredients, I imagine people with allergies need to be extra cautious.
Absolutely. Always check the full ingredient list carefully and look for anything you might be sensitive to. Common allergens like gluten and soy can sometimes sneak into supplements, even those marketed as natural.
Okay, so potential interactions and allergies are definitely things to consider. What about side effects directly related to digestion?
Some people might experience mild digestive discomfort when first taking Synogut,
Okay.
especially if they're not used to a high-fiber diet. Bloating, gas, and even slight cramping are possible as your gut adjusts to the increased fiber intake.
That makes sense. It's like your gut needs some time to get acquainted with the new routine.
Exactly. Starting with a lower dose and gradually increasing it can help minimize those initial side effects.
Good to know. Now let's talk cost. Synogut isn't exactly cheap, especially if you go for the multi-bottle packages they seem to be pushing.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's an investment, and it's important to weigh the potential benefits against the cost and decide if it fits within your budget. There are certainly other digestive health supplements on the market that are more affordable.
Speaking of other options, how does Synogut stack up against the competition? Are there other products out there with a similar approach or ingredient list?
That's a great question. While there are many digestive health supplements available, Synogut's specific combination of ingredients is relatively unique.
Okay.
There are other products that contain probiotics, prebiotics, and fiber, but the inclusion of ingredients like bentonite clay and black walnut hull sets it apart.
So it's kind of carving out its own niche in the market.
Exactly. And whether that unique blend translates to greater effectiveness is yet to be determined.
Right. It all comes back to that lack of scientific evidence supporting the specific formula.
Exactly. And that's a crucial point to keep in mind when comparing Synogut to other options.
Okay.
Some products have more robust research backing their claims, while others might be more transparent about their sourcing or manufacturing processes.
So it's just a matter of weighing your priorities and deciding what factors are most important to you.
Precisely. And remember, a conversation with your healthcare provider can be invaluable in navigating these choices and determining the best course of action for your individual needs.
Couldn't agree more. It's always wise to seek personalized advice before starting any new supplement regimen.
Absolutely. And remember, no supplement, even one with promising ingredients, can replace the foundational elements of a healthy lifestyle.
Right. A balanced diet, regular exercise, stress management, those are the cornerstones of good gut health.
Exactly. Supplements can play a supporting role, but they shouldn't be seen as a quick fix or a substitute for those essential habits.
Well said. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Synogut, what are your final thoughts? Is it worth trying, or are there too many unanswered questions?
It's a tough call. Synogut does contain some ingredients with potential benefits for digestive health, and the company seems to be transparent about their sourcing practices. However, the lack of scientific evidence supporting the specific blend and the questions surrounding Samuel Bart's background are significant considerations.
So it's a bit of a gamble with potential upsides, but also some risks to be aware of.
That's a fair assessment. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to try Synogut is a personal one.
Right?
We've provided you with the information you need to make an informed choice based on your individual needs and preferences.
And that's what the deep dive is all about, empowering you to make decisions that support your well-being. If you're curious to delve deeper into the science behind Synogut's ingredients or explore other approaches to digestive health, we've included a link in the show notes to a website with additional resources.
And remember, your gut health is a journey, not a destination. There's always more to learn and discover.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Synogut. We hope you found it informative and helpful. Remember to tap the link below to explore those additional resources we've curated for you. Until next time, take care of your gut and we'll take care of you.